So our team worked really hard on this, and I was very proud of them as the director of the department, that they really took this project and ran with it. I think they almost took it personal, that they wanted to make this as good as they could, because quite literally tens of millions of people will put their eyes on this project. So they did a fabulous job from start to finish.
I really thought this job was awesome from the beginning. I knew it would be impactful. I had no idea how impactful. Certainly it had a bigger impact than I could ever imagine.
It wasn't like any other job, and I knew that from the get-go. Every day out here, you were fully encapsulated with the environment, what we were building. It captured me from the start, and being able to help build the set and capture millions of people, it's undescribable.
Like I said, from the get-go, we can tell that this project has been covered in grace. Watching the natural world respond to all the supernatural activity that has gone on out here there's no words that could quantify how cool that is. The impossible became possible, and what was seen was wild.
I think the uniqueness of this project was, well, A, it's a movie set. We've not done a movie set before, so that's very unique. But, B, they had a very limited time frame to get this giant city, in effect, built so they could start filming on it.
The initial thoughts about the project were certainly how we were going to do it, what it would look like, going back and forth in our minds of how do we make it look old while functioning long term.
We had multiple buildings, not just one. We had 3 different products that we were installing. On top of that was the push to get the job done.
They actually use the insides of some of these buildings to film. They're not just shells, so it had to be watertight. Getting that all done really much faster than we would normally do a project was probably the biggest challenge we had.
Every day we came out here, a new building had the sticks up. We were drying in buildings while we were installing our polyurea on the flat roofs. Things were happening simultaneously. At one point we had 6 roofing crews out here on one day, and that's a lot of moving parts.
Every day was different. I couldn't walk through the job from noon and then come back at 3 o'clock without seeing something drastic. Things were happening in a time frame that was unheard of.
Whenever you were out here on a day-to-day basis, the harmony that floated over the set with everybody, like, we're here to do a job, but the job is beyond us. It's to make sure that we're embodying Christ, and we're embodying the whole idea of what we're building is to bring millions of people to get that same feeling.
Really, it was just like a gift from God. Like, it was just right place, right time. It was just one of the many miracles that we saw when we were out here.
Say we needed masonry work done, and we didn't have the exact right person. Well, all of a sudden, the next thing we knew, we turned around and somebody was inquiring about coming to work for us, and they happened to be the exact right person for that particular job.
There are some cast stone balusters outside of the synagogue. With cast stone, there's no variance. There's no measurement of error on those. You have to put them in almost exactly how they were cast. Otherwise, they won't work, because it's stone. It doesn't fit right. The joints, the angles, it has to fit perfect. Much like our project, we didn't know how we were going to do it when we started out. A couple of guys that we brought on were just going to do veneer stone. So when they saw the balusters, they said, this is what we do. We just did a 25,000 square foot mansion, and we did this almost exact thing. And so these 2 guys were the ones that installed the cast stone in front of the synagogue. And those guys showed up the same week this cast stone balusters showed up on site for us to install. And we had no idea how we were going to do it, and it just worked out perfectly.
The special part of the job, once we took it from the blueprints and the artist renderings and had the meetings and started to see it coming together, it really started to make sense once it got closer to complete, where we could actually see it. After building it and being a part of the whole project, it was something that drove me to want to go and actually see Capernaum, not only to see it, but to experience what I was feeling about faith and about Jesus's testimony and teaching and what that might mean for me.
There's a lot of really cool things that have happened. I mean, we would be pouring a foundation and there would be rain completely around us, and we would look up and there was a hole. All of our trucks were coming in completely wet and dripping, and we were bone dry. We've had beavers walk out of the water and come up and get petted by our guys. We've had multiple swarms of bees come out of season and land on our set in specific areas that are important to the story. When you spend 7 months of your life watching weird things happen in one location, and it only happens in that one location, I know what it is.
The first time we really were able to see it on film, The Chosen started releasing previews of the season. On the previews, we're not even watching the characters, we're watching the set. And it's really kind of silly. We're all pointing, there's our roof, there's our roof. Ooh, that roof's pretty. All of those things, once you actually see it on film, it's really neat knowing that your company, your crew, your people all worked so hard to make it happen. I can't wait till everybody gets to see it. I know people say it's just a roof, but the roof wasn't easy. None of this project was easy. And I think from the top to the bottom of our company did a great job making the project happen.
If I were going to tell someone what they should know about the project is, I think that by knowing that in effect, Joe Hall Roofing was chosen. We didn't just end up with this project. I think that God delivered the project to us to be involved so that we could evolve along with this wonderful mission that The Chosen is doing, such a big outreach into not just the United States, but the world, to tell the good story of Jesus and salvation. And we feel small. We feel like little grain. I mean, we are little dots. We're little grains of sand in this giant story, and somehow we each get to feel the weight of being involved in such a great project. And I feel blessed and thankful for that.